All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. I'm your host E here with very cool wrestling factoids, everything you need to know in terms of the professional wrestling world. So we talked about our first segment. We talked about WWE NXT review. It was a good one. Definitely check that out if you got the time. Segment two, we excuse me. We dove into AEW Dynamite. We previewed the fallout of AEW Double or Nothing. So it should be, it's a good watch. And third, we're gonna dive into Jordynne Grace enters the Forbidden Door. Oh, absolutely love it. Absolutely something that I thought WWE should have done a long time ago. But before moving even forward, remember, guys, to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me your feelings about WWE NXT. Tell me what you think's going to happen on AEW Dynamite. So yeah, don't be afraid to engage in this conversation that we're going to have. It's a hell of a lot better when you guys are, kind of being a part of it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into some action. All right. So first, we're going to talk about TNA recently had a deal with Endeavor streaming services for on-demand content, TNA Plus. It started in early January 2024, which makes a lot of sense because Jordynne Grace was in the WWE Women's Royal Rumble this year in February. So it makes sense. It makes sense that they signed a deal in 2024. She made her debut within the Royal Rumble. So and we have Endeavor will be, it seems like they want to be solely responsible for bringing fans or having the opportunity to experience TNA through the app, which is, partially because of Access. Access is a partner with the WWE, something that I never really kind of put two and two together every single time I went to WWE event. If I had to print out the tickets, if I had to have them, online or on through Ticketmaster, you'd always have that AXS, kind of emblem kind of in the corner. And you're like, holy crap, TNA streams on AXS TV. So that makes sense if they want to, kind of branch out and kind of get bigger within the wrestling world. So yeah, and then I could just kind of moves on to TNA Plus. It's going to be an amazing app. Endeavor is, obviously introducing it, the parent company of the WWE. So that's the reason kind of why I feel like they are borrowing Jordynne Grace from time to time, because she's huge. She's definitely one of the best she's the best women's wrestler in professional wrestling right now. And I'm not afraid to say it. Not afraid to say it. It's going to be an online streaming service. TNA partners with the world's biggest sports organization to further their growth in their fan base, to expand digital revenues, and also to improve innovative business operation ideas. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I feel like it's going to be great for TNA. Been waiting for TNA to kind of make a stab and kind of get ready for, kind of the future, because they're kind of, they're kind of out of the wrestling, not out of the wrestling world, because you have WWE, which is his own conglomerate. Then you have, AEW has recently merged with Ring of Honor and New Japan Professional Wrestling. The NWA is kind of doing they're built on territories where they have like, six territories all over the United States. And I think there's one in Puerto Rico, I believe there is. Don't quote me on that. And also Lucha Libre. But TNA's kind of been left in the docks. TNA kind of needs like a nice little partner to kind of back up on. And TNA, you have Matt Hardy, you have Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, you have Jordynne Grace, you have these people who have had experience within the WWE. And I think it would be great. It would be amazing to kind of have this, nice little collaboration. And it's been told, through PW Insider that this is the first of many collaborations between TNA Impact and WWE. So more things like that are definitely going to come, which is, pretty awesome. Although WWE kind of does have a lot of stars kind of on their own. So, but I don't think Raw or SmackDown would need these superstars, but we're going to kind of get into that. So, General Manager Ava unveiled the dominant women's wrestler in the world. Roxanne Perez will fight Jordynne Grace at NXT Battleground. Um, the moment I saw her on there, I kind of thought a couple of things. First, I thought, is Grace warming up to the WWE? But then I found out she has a year or so more in her contract, so I don't think that's really that possible. Is she just, using this as a platform to represent TNA because, she lives and dies by TNA because she's a TNA knockout champion? That could be possible. Why not use the WWE or Endeavor in the UFC to kind of promote TNA? You ultimately need to kind of, get these people to kind of buy tickets and merchandise, ultimately upping your salary, because I read a stat, or I read an article that said most of the Impact wrestlers don't get paid more than, God, don't get paid more than like 75, like 100, like $1,000, and that's a whole lot of money. But for a wrestler who constantly goes in and out of the ring, and kind of does, and as a performer and as an entertainer, that kind of seems a little bonk. So it should be interesting to kind of find out with that. And Jordynne Grace absolutely stole the show. I didn't give a crap about Sexy Red. Well, I didn't really give a crap about her from the beginning, but I guess she's good for ratings. I was interested to see Javon Evans and Trick Williams fight Gallus. I wanted to see how Chasey was going to ultimately solve the Kylie Osborne and Ridge Holland. I wanted to see the last two competitors for the Women's North American Championship qualifying, six-pack ladder match heading toward WWE NXT Battleground. But after all that, this moment stole the show. The moment I heard her music and I saw the Titantron, I saw her name, my jaw to the floor. Bam! I was just absolutely I was fixated. I was like transcended. No, it was crazy. It was definitely crazy. Love seeing Jordynne Grace. She definitely deserves all the attention. And it's not because of like I'm a huge Jordynne Grace fan. It's just, dude, this girl works, man. This girl works. If you want to try to, be inspired, if you want to try to, imitate or emulate someone's success to kind of help, motivate yourself, Jordynne Grace, baby, right here, 110%. Honestly, I wish I could be like Jordynne Grace. Look at those muscles, dude. Like, what the? Like, just kidding. But moving on. I don't know. It just, or perhaps maybe she could be kind of flirting with WWE a little bit and flirting with it. Maybe WWE might pay top dollars to get her. And if Jordynne wins, it would be absolutely amazing in terms of cross promotional. WWE would have to promote Jordynne Grace on every single aspect of media. The A double champion, it would between different companies. First time in ever. Jordynne Grace is highly unstoppable. Roxanne, she can't win. She can't win. And if she does, it would be like if Roxanne Perez wins, I might lose my stuff. But I don't know. Like I'm like, dude, like Roxanne Perez is gonna get her ass kicked, dude. Like how don't you see that? And that kind of made me think. I was like, okay, so they obviously are trying to butter up something. And I was, obviously have my wrestling mind kind of going crazy. TNA linking with NXT. NXT has recently been sold as more from Paul Levesque and Shawn Michaels as its own like entity kind of thing. So perhaps maybe TNA isn't merging with all of WWE, just maybe NXT. That could be a huge possibility. Wouldn't surprise me if that, kind of happens. But what if this kind of creates a Survivor Series kind of matchup? You know what I mean? Where you have team, NXT, you have the NXT champion against, Moose, and you have, the Roxanne Perez, or if Jordynne Grace becomes a double champion, it's going to kind of mess things up. Or you have the NXT tag team champions against the TNA Knockouts tag team champion. And just the possibility, it just goes on and on and on. And it would be, honestly, if that happens, that would be absolutely great. I would absolutely love that. Wanted that to happen for the longest time with WCW, but it never happened during my life. Hope maybe in like an alternate universe, Vince McMahon wasn't such a jerk, and like we could have had WCW and WWE kind of have their own like little rivalry and stuff like that. So yeah, honestly, TNA isn't something to kind of turn a blind eye at. They've had great wrestlers. Ultimately, try obviously consider TNA. You had Kurt Angle going there. You had Sting. You also had who's the other guy? You had Bobby Lashley. And you also, behind the scenes, Kurt Angle said that Brock Lesnar was highly interested in joining TNA, but really never really made the jump because he didn't really know and was uncertain about his WWF future. But speaking of Brock Lesnar, let's go ahead and move on to our fourth segment. We have Brock Lesnar's WWE ban has been officially lit. So let's go ahead and dig on into that. So stay tuned.